Let's hop right into it. So, our first story today is under petty revenge. So, hopefully, this is good. And it is called I Don't Believe Revenge is the Answer, but I Don't Regret My Petty Revenge Against My Abusive Ex. Oof. Okay, here we go. I didn't do anything illegal. I should start with that. My ex was awful. I had PTSD. He stalked and harassed me for a year after I met him, which was double the amount of time I dated him. I got sick of him and needed my peace. I needed to heal. I lived my life in fear and anxiety and anger. I gathered all the evidence I had and filed for a protection order. Good, as you should. It took 1 month from the day I failed to have a court date. He decided to fight it, so it was extended another month. By the time of the second court date, it had been 2 months, and he says he's not ready because his lawyer couldn't make it. So the court extends the order another month by a half. By the third court date, 3.5 months have passed, and I was granted a temporary protection order that entire time. He was $5,000 plus in the hole paying for a lawyer. And I never hired one. I was sick of him dragging it out. I knew he spent money on that lawyer, so I decided to waste his time and his money. I never showed up to the third court date. I believe I had made it crystal clear that I meant business, and he knew if he beeped with me ever again, I would take it right back to court. Now, yes, this means I was never granted a long-term protection order after the last court date. There was no official protection order, so he could have gone back to stalking and harassing me. It has been over 2 years since the last court date and still no protection order, and he never beeped with me again. He never had a job, so I knew he couldn't afford the $5,000 he spent on a lawyer, which makes my revenge all the more savory, knowing that despite his efforts, I still got the protection order I wanted. He put himself in debt trying to steal that from me and never got any satisfaction from fighting me in the courtroom. I just want to say it's kind of a little scary that you don't have a protection order. But at the same time, and again, this is just from what I have personally heard. I've never experienced this, thank God, and I'm sorry you went through that. But watching all the documentaries on Netflix and hearing a lot of other people's stories, it kind of sounds like, the protection order and stuff doesn't really do much because I find listening to the stories that they always still come back despite the order, or if you get a restraining order, they still come and they bother you and they still harass you even when you have that in place. So honestly, maybe it's not even worth it. It's more worth it to put them in $5,000 in debt. Thank you for sharing your story, and I hope you are at peace and are super safe now, and you can go to bed sound knowing that you put this person in a whole bunch of debt. Alright, next story. This one is from Am I Overreacting? About something that happened at our wedding. Oh, I'm scared. Wife, 34, female, and then has a male friend who's 34, male, that she's known her whole life. Wife has a male friend, they're all the same age. He's close to her family, is best friends with her brother, etc. This friend and my wife dated briefly in high school but remained essentially platonic friends within a larger friend group ever since. She included him in the guest list at our wedding, and I had no problem with it. At one point during the reception, he pulled me aside and said, "Is it weird for you that I've seen your wife naked?" Wait, what? Are you serious? Okay. I was appalled to say the least. Yeah, what the hell, man? I walked away and wasn't going to say anything to anyone about it, but my best man noticed my face when this guy pulled me aside. I told my best man what was said and essentially kept it to myself ever since, as did he. Fast forward 4 years to the present day. Okay, so it's been 4 years. This old friend of my wife's was at a party we attended, and both she and I visited him a few times throughout the evening. When we were driving home, she asked me why I didn't really speak to him. I tried to lie, but she could tell something was up, so I told her what had happened at the wedding. It didn't seem to bother her that much, which surprised me, as it still bothers the hell out of me. Am I overreacting to suggest that she might not be friends with him anymore. Whoa. Okay, this is hard because, like, going through the journey of this story with you guys, I was like, this could go one of many ways. And I did not expect that she would be not thinking a big deal of it. Like, I was expecting her to be like, oh my god, I can't believe he said that and you never told me. That's 100, like, this is a shock. I was not expecting it to end like this. Okay, first of all, it has now been 4 years since this man has said that to you, and, like, I'm a little confused personally, like, why you wouldn't have said something right away, because now this wife has been best friends with him, is still gonna hang out with him, obviously, like, after this wedding. And, like, are you okay with them hanging out one-on-one now, or do you guys always hang out with friends? Like, what is going on? Okay, his question is, am I overreacting to suggest that she may not be friends with him anymore? Okay, this is tough because I don't want to say, oh yeah, she's cheating, blah, blah, blah. But for me personally, I do find it hella odd that she was not surprised. Like, that bothers me. Because it's like, oh, has he been flirting with her all this time? So she kind of knew that's something that he was going to say. I mean, they dated in high school, but it's also not, oh, he said briefly dated in high school, which kind of means nothing. Like, you can still remain pretty good friends. My light died again. So, we're just gonna have to accept that it's gonna be a little dark. Nice. Oh. Let's see if we get some any more juice out of it. So no, I don't want to suggest that she's cheating, but I 100% agree that this is off and it's definitely something you need to talk to her about. Alright, next story. Am I overreacting? So, girlfriend of over 6 years doesn't want to have kids. Sirens in the background. Oof, this is gonna be a good story. As the title suggests, I, 26 male, have been with my girlfriend, 33 female, for about 6 years. We have a loving relationship with our ups and downs. However, we've always been supportive in wanting to move up to the next step once we felt ready. Mostly finances and moving in together, stuff like that. Over the years, we talked about having kids together and how great it would be. Her sister has 2, and I remember growing up how much I love hanging out with my cousins. While we never had a timeline for this, we knew that the time is shortening the longer we wait. Maybe a year ago, I remember she asked if I would leave her if she didn't want to have kids. My honest answer, which for obvious reasons didn't like, was yes. I think I would not because I wouldn't love her. I think I would not because I won't love her, and if I want to have kids and she doesn't. I'm sorry, bro, like, is it just me, or does that sentence make absolute no sense? What are you saying? Okay, wait, are you saying yes, you would leave her? Maybe this is why you should skim through the Reddit stories before you attempt to read them. Ooh, okay, wait, I shouldn't have taken my wants off. Literally what? She disappeared by that, but we never revisited the topic again. Okay, I'm just gonna assume that he said, yes, I would leave you because he's been wanting kids for a long time and they've talked about it before. That's what I'm assuming. Yesterday, when explaining my day and how my dad was pestering me about food, she randomly felt the need to insert, I don't think I want to have kids. Your dad is already a man-child. Your aunt is essentially a baby. It's too much work after seeing what my sister goes through. After that, I kind of just shut up and gave a neutral answer the rest of the night and she was stuck wondering why I was now sad. I do not want to force her into something she doesn't want. That's not fair for me to decide on her behalf, but I don't think it's fair for me to be in something that's not going to be fulfilled. Am I overreacting for considering to leave my long-term girlfriend if she no longer wants to have kids? I am so sorry for laughing. I'm honestly just laughing at myself for, like, I've never heard the term the skinny of this post. Literally never in my entire life. And I'm definitely assuming that means just like, oh, the reasoning for this post is this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's get into it. 100% no, you are not overreacting. Because listen, everyone is different. Some people want kids, some people don't want kids, but also this is why people are normally pretty upfront with dating and saying what they want, what they don't want. And the problem with this is these situations are so tricky because everyone is valid. You're valid in feeling like, I want kids, this is a deal breaker, and she is 100% valid in changing her mind and wanting kids. So this is such a tough situation because you guys have been together for 6 years. That is so long. But like, you know in your heart that it's the right decision to break this off because like you said, you really want kids and you won't be fulfilled, and you don't want to think like, 10 years down the line regretting not having kids or seeing kids, and so even though it is going to be really tough for both of you to break off this relationship, is 100% probably for the best. But I totally feel for her, man. Like, she wanted kids, but then she, sees the struggle of people trying to raise kids and the struggle of, being pregnant and giving birth. Like, that is so hard for anyone. So it's tough, man. And if you honestly think that you could go your life without having kids and be happy, then stay together. But really, that's a decision you have to make, and you know in your heart what's best for you, and that's all I gotta say. This is a really tricky one because no one's in the wrong. Am I the butt for being active early in the morning and disturbing my neighbors? Listen, as a person who lives in the city and has to live in apartments, I'm gonna take this one to heart. Here we go. I'm a single dad living in a semi-detached house. My toddler loves sleeping in and I love sleeping. I prefer late nights and late mornings. Then I had new neighbors several months ago. They have a toddler who constantly cries throughout the night, but it happens. Not every toddler is the same, but the man often works on call and is up throughout the night, which means I'm waking up every time he goes to work. The woman has a 7 a.m. alarm and snoozes it for 5 minutes until 7:30. Ooh, what? And on weekends, they're up at 8 a.m. loudly talking and playing with her kid. Thankfully, my kid sleeps through it. Bro, thank God, or this would be really tough. But after months of this and now an early bird, I go to bed early and wake up early. So now I start the day at 7. Every day, including weekends. I'm up and down the stairs getting stuff ready for school. I'm cleaning out my rabbit's cage whenever I need to do. I'm not going out of my way to be loud, just doing what I used to do in the morning sooner. Of course, they now have a problem with this because of the days the man has to sleep in because he's on call. He can't because I'm awake. The woman on her days off is now being woken up at 7 a.m. and she can't exactly snooze me. And on weekends, when they decide to sleep in after a night out and hangover, I am up and down the stairs. They asked me not to start my day so early. I'm waking them up. I told them it's really their fault because they moved in. I'd be waking up so much later and their alarms and loudness conditioned me to wake up early. Told them I tried speaking to them about it and they can't help it. So am I really the butthole for saying something they practically created? Oh no. So am I really the butthole for something they practically created? Wow. This seriously makes me so mad because, like, where's the respect? But also, I was just talking about this literally yesterday with my family members, and it's like, I feel so bad for people who live in the city, who want to be creative, who want to, like, play the guitar or, keyboard or practice, like, anything that's loud, and you honestly can't, because most people live in apartment buildings like me. You got people on top, people on the bottom. And, like, there's, like, this, respecting that you're not too loud, you can't disturb people, and it's really frustrating. It is really frustrating, and it's tough too because you add kids in and he's a single dad, so he understands what it's like to be having a toddler. But my advice, and it's not always practical, is to move somewhere else. And I know sometimes you can't depending on your situation, but if you can, that's what I would do. I would move out. For this specifically, I would probably be a little petty myself, because like, dude, I was, you know, a late night and late mornings kind of guy, and now I'm literally going to bed early, waking up early. I switched my whole schedule because you guys are so loud waking me up. There is no way I'm gonna be changing that again for you. That is insane. It's like those neighbors who are blasting music so loud upstairs, but you know, when you tell them to keep it down, they don't. So, you know, to each their own, man. You woke me up. You created this. No, I deem you not the butthole, because this is crazy. I don't even know how to fix this, man. Buildings need to make sure that they are very, very soundproof. Or you know what? My best friend, she lives in this really, really new building. And they now have like spaces in the building downstairs. They have a music room. I think they have like a dance room. Like, so you can go into these rooms that are soundproof, and they're like on the bottom floor. And you can make all the sound you want. And I think that is beautiful. And I think apartment buildings should do that a lot more, because you know what? People want to practice, people want to play music, and nobody can afford a house out here, so you just got to get better at that. Okay, let's go to our last story of the evening or day, whenever you're watching this. Am I overreacting? About my boyfriend canceling on me. Oh, okay. Here we go. Me, 27 female, and my boyfriend, 32 male, have been together close to 4 years. I'm going to get out of the way and say I have never met his parents. Okay. The only person I met is his family. In his family is his brother. He's Hispanic and has a very big, very close family. And says that his parents/family got annoyed when anyone brings outsiders around, especially if they're white. It's not expecting that. Okay, especially if they're white. So all I hear is that he's embarrassed of me and afraid of what his family would think. I generally only think he introduced me to his brother to show me off physically, not because he actually wanted to meet me or get to know me or anything. I, however, am not close at all with my family, only my mom. And we've actually gone to a concert and everything together with my mom. They get along well because I'm not embarrassed of him at all. So a few months ago, he told me about a concert he was going to with his parents and brother. His parents tend to kind of just tell him what he's doing, not ask. So it wasn't like this big thing that he was super excited for. It was kind of just like, my parents are taking me to this thing. A few months later, after that, I asked him about going to a concert with me that is 3 days before my birthday. Tonight is a concert, and making it a birthday thing. I tell him the date and time and everything, and he's just like, yeah, of course. We are both really excited because our song is by this specific band, and it is just going to be really special. A week or two ago, he tells me that he has bad news. He just suddenly realized the concerts are on the same night. I knew the second he told me that there was no way he'd choose to go with me. There is no way he'd be able to say no to his parents. I know you could simplify this and just be like, well, the plans with his parents were made first and that's that. But the way I look at it is, if he didn't go, his parents and brother would still have gone and had a good time. But unless I found someone who was last minute, was available on Wednesday night, and also actually liked this band and would enjoy the show, which I did not find in my small group of friends, or felt like I was going by myself. Honestly, I have been touched from behind at concerts, even with my boyfriend, and didn't feel comfortable going anywhere alone. I just don't get to go. Plus, we both had established it was for my birthday, and also this is solely his fault for not making sure it was free that night. I think this emphasized even more how he didn't really care that much about the show with his parents. it wasn't something he was looking forward to. It was just a thing. So now we have nothing planned for my birthday. We're both big on birthdays, and I always make sure that we're doing something for his too. And he's literally sending me videos right now of the concert he's at with his parents, which I feel is pretty rude. I always put him first, within normal reason, of course, and wouldn't have ever canceled on something for his birthday. And I think this is just a big reminder that I'm so separate from the part of his life, and that it isn't the first time he's chosen his family over me. If I knew his family and all of that, maybe I wouldn't be quite as hurt. I'm rereading this and just realizing how stupid our relationship sounds. Lol. That was a hard one to read, and I think it's because it was most of the stories on Reddit that I've read so far is like paragraph by paragraph, and this one was like all together. So I was like trying to keep track of like what sentence I was on. Oh, it was a workout. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you said it yourself. He did technically say yes to his family's concert first, but also you literally asked him, and you told him the day, and it's for your birthday, so you can 100% be upset about this and feeling like this relationship might be done because like he's not comfortable with you around his family, which is kind of weird because, like, you know, people date to marry, or people date to be with that person forever, marriage or not. So like, what's his purpose? Is he just gonna like date you long term or marry you, whatever you guys want, and then what, never invite you over to family outings, never invite you over to this? And it's also like, I don't know how long you guys have been dating, but it's also rude of the family at that point. Like, if you guys have been dating for like a year and the family just doesn't even think to invite you out to a concert that they're going to, is kind of odd. Yeah, this would not sit well with me just because of the birthday thing. And like you said, like, as a woman, you don't really go to concerts alone, and now you have to cancel. Like, did you already pay for these tickets? Are you losing money on this? Like, to me, there's a few reasons to be mad. So I personally do not think you're overreacting. I would react quite the same. And like you said, like, you feel like he just wanted to show you off physically to his brother. Like, girl, you already know deep within your heart what kind of relationship this is. So at this point, I would say the ball is in your court. Like, how much longer can you put up with this? Can you sit down and have a conversation with him? Can it change? Will it change? Stuff like that. So that's my advice. If you really love him, sit him down, talk to him, try to figure out if you want to make this work. And if he really loves you, or if, you know, race is really going to be a factor like that, which kind of sucks. But that's the reality of it, I guess. So anyway, that's all the stories I have for you guys this episode. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time, and peace out, I guess.